Ah, the Tesla Cybertruck. I mean, look at it. It's a vehicle that looks like it drove right out of a sci-fi movie. But, since it actually hit the streets, its story has been less about the future and a lot more about a growing list of very present-day problems. So what is really going on with Tesla's wild, futuristic truck?
Okay, so I want you to take a good look at this number, 63,619. What do you think that is? Is it the price? The number of pre-orders? Nope. It's actually right at the heart of the Cybertruck's latest big headache.
That's right. Over 63,000 Cybertrucks got recalled because their front parking lights were just too bright. Turns out they were exceeding federal safety standards, creating a real crash risk by distracting or even totally dazzling other drivers on the road.
But here's the real kicker. What makes this so interesting is that the recall paperwork, from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, it covered every vehicle made between November 2023 and October 2025. And in doing that, it accidentally let a huge secret slip: the total number of Cybertrucks that Tesla has ever made.
So, yeah, what started as just a routine safety recall ended up telling the whole world exactly how many of these futuristic trucks are actually out there.
But these bright lights, they're really just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. This recall is actually part of a larger and kind of concerning pattern of problems for Tesla's new flagship vehicle. In fact, since deliveries first started back in December of 2023, the Cybertruck has already been recalled 8 times. Think about that. That is a huge number of issues for a brand new vehicle in such a short amount of time. And we're not talking about minor stuff here. We're talking about everything from a faulty accelerator pedal back in April 2024 to a failing windshield wiper motor just a couple months later in June. Then, by early 2025, there were reports of exterior trim panels literally flying off the vehicle on the highway. And that, of course, brings us right back to those super bright parking lights.
But out of all of these issues, the most dangerous one, without a doubt, was the accelerator pedal. This wasn't just some inconvenience. This was a defect that could cause the vehicle to just accelerate on its own, uncontrollably.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The official language from the NHTSA is frankly chilling. They found that an unlubricated pad could make the pedal get stuck, forcing the truck into maximum acceleration. Now, drivers could override it by slamming on the brake, but can you imagine? That is a terrifying scenario for anyone behind the wheel. Okay, so how does Tesla even go about fixing all these problems? Well, this part of the story is actually fascinating, and it really shows you how much car manufacturing is changing, because not all recalls are created equal.
And this slide really breaks it down perfectly. For the big hardware problems, like the accelerator pedal, the trim falling off, or the busted wiper motor, owners have to physically bring their Cybertruck into a service center. But for the software bugs, like those too bright parking lights or an earlier recall for something as small as the wrong font size on warning lights, Tesla can just push a fix remotely. It's called an over-the-air or OTA update. The car literally fixes itself while it's sitting in your driveway.
So let's just zoom out for a second. While some of these fixes are pretty simple, the sheer number of recalls is creating a massive headache for Tesla, and it's all happening at a really challenging time for the company. Federal regulators like the NHTSA, they are keeping a very close watch on all of this. These aren't just a few customer complaints, These are official safety campaigns that force the company to act, and all these repeated interventions are really starting to damage the brand's reputation for quality. As one senior equity analyst, Dan Ives, told The Guardian, "This is another black eye for Tesla. The Cybertruck was supposed to be this huge, triumphant pedestal moment for the company. But this constant string of recalls right out of the gate is, to put it mildly, a bad look." And you have to remember, this isn't happening in a vacuum. Tesla's stock has taken a hit, wiping out a whole year of gains. The company just announced it was laying off 10% of its entire global workforce. Competition, especially from Chinese EV makers, is getting incredibly fierce. And all of this is going on while the company is trying to get shareholders to approve a controversial $56 billion pay package for its CEO, Elon Musk.
So what does it all mean? The story of the Cybertruck is kind of a paradox, isn't it? It's this major clash between radical, groundbreaking innovation and just fundamental execution.
On one hand, you have a vehicle that completely rethinks what a truck can be. I mean, it's wild. But on the other hand, it's a vehicle that's been plagued by these basic, almost elementary flaws: accelerator pedals that stick,
wipers that just stop working, trim that falls off. So the question we're all left with is this. Is this just the unavoidable price you pay for pushing the boundaries of innovation? Or is it a sign of a company that's maybe stretched a little too thin, putting speed and futuristic design ahead of just getting the basics right?